Welcome to the Genesis Podcast, the place where our guests can come to find inner clarity to fuel external momentum in every area of their life. It's your boy, CY. I'm the host and curator of the Genesis Podcast. I will be doing a solo episode today. My co-host and my good brethren, the Right Rev. Dr. Ken Bishop, is over here making it do what it do. But, man, this episode we've been trying to coordinate for a minute. I've been trying to connect with this brother for a minute. This brother is truly the epitome of one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I was always motivated by my struggle and my pain. Everybody in my family, like my cousins who was, next to me in age, I suffered the most. Like, meaning my mother was on drugs. I never had my father, my biological father in my life. I had a stepdad. I'm living in every ghetto in Dayton, Ohio that there was. And pain is temporary, but if you quit, it's permanent. And I remember hearing those words, and I'm just like, you already in pain, get a reward from it.
Right.
I'm already frustrated. I'm already in pain. I'm already going through the motion. I'm already ready to quit. But what if this thing happens?
Yeah.
Little did I know how much I grow. Oh yeah, I see why. My mind is being renewed by power. See why. God say what to do, and all I do is O-B-E-Y. Christ is where I put my I-D-E and T-I-T-Y. This is what happens when purpose and passion, greatness and action, eliminating every single distraction. See, anything you do for a while is gonna form a habit, good or bad. Let's get active and obey His commandments. This podcast is really one of a kind. Let's get aligned.
What's going on, man? Hiya. What's going on, team, man? I appreciate you having me on today. You'll get it when he starts to share his story. A very impressive young man that came from the mud, from Dayton, Ohio, of all places, man. And I just really have been impressed with this brother from the first time I met him, the way that he carries himself, the level of wisdom that he has, and his story of overcoming. So with that said, man, I'm going to introduce to some my brother, the Trashpreneur. Mr. David Symes himself. You heard him, the Trashpreneur. Like, what kind of name? The Trashpreneur. Come on, family. Hey, what's going on, David, man?
What's up, my brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. First of all, thank you for agreeing to jump on the podcast with me, man. We've definitely been trying to connect, man, and I definitely want to dive into your story as much as possible. Be a little transparent, be a little honest about the pains, the struggles, the triumphs. I think oftentimes people see the triumphs, but they never know the struggle and the pain it took for you to get there. So with that said, man, take us back, man, to one, how did you come up with the Trashpreneur? Who was David as a kid, and how did that play into you being where you currently are?
Man, great question. Growing up in Dayton, Ohio, how was I as a kid? I would say spontaneous, outgoing. People would say bad. Just always gonna find a way. I knew that I was different when I would wake up early. I can go to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning with my friends, cousins, and family members, but I'll be the first one up. And I was always motivated by my struggle and my pain. Everybody in my family, like my cousins who was next to me in age, I suffered the most. Like, meaning my mother was on drugs. I never had my father, my biological father in my life. I had a stepdad. And just really just looking at my life and their life. Their mother had jobs, careers. Their grandmothers were there. They had the latest Jordans, the latest shoes, and I'm living in every ghetto in Dayton, Ohio that there was, and wearing Payless shoes, Skechers, and things like that. So I had to have a work ethic. So when the opportunity came for me to make money, cutting grass, shoveling snow, whatever the case may have been, I was always on it.
Right.
Because I remember when ice cream truck pull up, I didn't have no money, and everybody had the money to go get a popsicle or something. And then I try to look at my mom, we don't have no money, and things like that too. So my upbringing, the pain, and I did not know that the pain that I was going through was going to be valuable to me later on.
Right.
And so, when I look back at how I was as a child, I would just say I was just going through what I was supposed to go through, but didn't understand that at the time what God was developing in me for the greater years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. So I want to kind of, you said a couple things. You talked about the struggle and the pain and how that made you feel. Where did you find the intrinsic fuel to push past that pain and that struggle? Because some people fall into that same struggle and some people use that for pain. So how were you able to take that pain and use it to fuel what we see today?
Yeah. Great question. So back when I'll tell you guys an incident that happened to me. I think I was going to the 6th grade, and at the time my mother was in and out of the streets, and she would like leave for days, and I would have to get myself up and take myself to school, catch the bus. So I had the chance to go smoke, to go drink, to go skip school, all of these things, but I'm like 12, 11, 13
Wow.
going to school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I always just have my own mind. I do my own thinking. And so when it came to that part of it, I was always myself. But I remember one time I was with staying with my grandmother, and it was the beginning of the school year. I think I was going to the 6th grade, and my sister and I was going to West Town. It's called Hans Sportswear. It was a shoe store called Hans Sportswear. And we went in there, and I wanted a pair of all white Air Force Ones, because
Everybody wanted them.
everybody want the all white Air Force Ones or the all blacks, because you can wear them with everything.
Exactly.
And so that was like the starter kit. When you go to school, white shoes, black shoes, that was it. So, and I was like, Grandma, I want these. And she bought my sister a pair of gray and white Air Force Ones. I never forget the color. And she said, no, we're going to go across the street and get your shoes. And I'll remember like, okay. And we go across the street. It was Payless.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
So your sister got the Air Force One.
Air Force
you
Ones.
got the pay.
I got the
Payless.
Payless. I got the Payless.
Oh, man.
And I cried. And I promise you, from that day, and I was a kid, I said, this will never happen to me again. Like where somebody would just treat. This is my grandmother.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably didn't know. She probably did not know what she did to me, or that's why I say your childhood is the most important piece of you, because it shapes you and how you're going to think and how you are and what you endured and the things that you experience. So when she did that, I told myself I would never put myself in someone else's hands, because they can treat you any type of way. And this is my grandmother.
Right.
And I know she loved me, rest her soul, things like that. But I just remember how that made me feel like, wow, like how the hell she get this and I don't get it.
Right.
And we got the same mom, but my mom never raised her. She was always the spoiled child. So, but that right there kind of like fueled my fire. And then me just being the not saying the black sheep of the family, but the one that no one expected to be something.
Yeah.
And I felt it. And I was always different. Like I could hang with my cousins. They all selling drugs or smoking. I was the only one not smoking. In a car hotboxing and things like that. So I was always carrying my own self and having my own mind in the way that I thought things through.
Yeah.
Even at a young age.
So it kind of lends to the fact that you were the one that was called to break the chain or the cycle.
Yeah.
And so it's like the things that you could have done, God wouldn't allow you to do those things because it was preparing you for something else.
Absolutely, man. Like I remember when I was selling weed, because how I started selling weed, it wasn't because I wanted to, but it wasn't like out of like a need or necessity or anything like that. Every time me and my friends, we would get together, and they would call the weed man.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see them spend their last money. Remember, my mom is on drugs, so I've seen all of this stuff. So I'm anti-drugs,
right,
whatsoever. And so I'm like, this is when I knew I was an entrepreneur, but I did not know it. I was a businessman.
Right.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna go buy some weed and I'm gonna sell it to them.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm over here, they always calling the weed man, they putting their money together and things like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So that's when I ended up, by buying some weed, and I was taking it to them, and I was selling it to my friends. And then next thing you know, I would sell out. And I was dabbling into weed a little bit. And once my cousin told on me, because I was getting bigger, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I sold the rest of it, and then my mom was like, you got to go. So I graduated from high school. My uncle came and got me, and that's how I ended up moving to Texas first. But then me and his wife, my aunt, we wasn't getting along in the beginning. So then I ended up moving back to Dayton, and then my stepdad, his niece, allowed me to move to Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, that's when my life started to change.
Okay.
So Atlanta really was the pinnacle of my life, but not to put the cart before the horse of my childhood. But
no, that's amazing, man. Thank you for your honesty and your transparency of kind of your past. And I think sometimes people think that the past or the mistakes or where they come from truly define them. And what I've learned and just hearing you talk is what has defined you is who you decided to become in the midst of that environment.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful thing. So as we kind of segue into the Trashpreneur, first of all, explain what the Trashpreneur is, how you became the Trashpreneur, and what it has afforded you as a lifestyle. Because now you fresh. I see the watch is blinging. You know what I'm saying? You got your Roberto Cavalli on. You fresh, my boy.
Yeah, thank you. So I started the valet trash business based off of a bet that I lost in Atlanta, Georgia while going to school. And the bet was whoever loses got to take out the trash. So I had to take out the trash. And on my way on taking out the trash, this older lady comes out and she was like, excuse me, can you grab my trash for me? I'm in a rush. I said, sure, no problem. So when I'm grabbing her trash, she tries to pay me $10. I didn't accept it. I walk all the way back to the compactor and throw the trash away. But on my way back to the compactor, cars are driving past me with trash on top of the hoods, trash inside the trunks, trash inside the cars. I'm 18, 19 at the time. I didn't even think that this was even a business.
Right.
Fast forward, I moved back to Texas after living in Atlanta 4 years. I moved back to Texas, and I'm working at this company called Yodel, and I ended up meeting a friend there. And I went back to her apartment, and I'm about to take out her trash, and she stops me and said, you don't have to take it out. There's a company that does it for me. I'm like, what the hell is this? And she said, valet trash. I said, valet trash, because I'm living with my uncle in the house. Right. I'm not in the apartment.
Yeah.
I'm not living in an apartment as of yet. So I became obsessed. See, I became obsessed, man. I just remember like just going over there, stalking them, asking them questions, how much they make, how much do they charge? I'm asking her, how much are you paying for the service? And she's telling me these things. So at the job, I was doing cold call sales. So I'm like, I've already have experience in retail sales, door-to-door sales, car sales, and now I'm doing cold call sales. I said, I'm like a quadruple-headed snake. So if I'm doing making these people money, and I'm hitting my quota every week, because if you didn't hit your quota every week at that company, you was fired. You was gone. You wasn't selling. They got rid of you quick. And I managed to stay there for over a year. And I was like, you know what? I could do this on my own. And so on my lunch breaks, man, I was just cold calling apartments, going to apartments and things like that. And then I ended up getting fired from that job. And then I started working at another job temporarily. And I never forget, I was tired of working this job. And my mentor at the time, he was like, David, your business will never take off because you're treating it like a hobby. And I'll never forget how that made me feel. And I went home, told my ex-wife at the time, my ex-wife now, I told her, like, hey, I got a plan. I'm going to get fired on purpose, and I'm going to use the unemployment money to pay the bills and to help me get through. And that's what I did. And so once I was getting the unemployment money, and I ended up getting some subscribers because I didn't get a contract as of yet. So when the people wasn't giving me any contracts through the management company on the apartment side, I created my own subscription model where the residents could sign up directly and use my service.
Oh, wow.
So I had about like 20-some customers that was paying $25 a month. But the problem was I didn't have the proximity.
Mhm.
So I had to be traveling like 2 units here, 3 units here, 4 units here. So at the time, we had pre-booked a cruise. But you know how you pre-book a cruise and then you get fired and you go on the cruise, you broke?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened with me. And so I'm reading the books, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, listening to E.T., Mark Cuban. And I'm like, bro, ain't none of this shit working. I'm like, nothing is working, bro.
Right.
I'm reading books. I'm praying. I'm positive thinking. People calling me crazy. People saying, dream. You ain't going to do it, da. Man, we get back from the cruise. I'm driving. I'm door knocking. I'm in a truck, Ram 1500. Windows can't roll down. 100-degree weather,
Dang.
summertime. Driving around in my truck, dude. By the time I go to your place of establishment to try to talk trash to you, I'm sweating. Shirt drenched, shorts drenched, sweating. And I get a call from Louis Divino. I'll never forget that guy. He's my mentor to this day. He said, hey, this is Louis. We have 2 mid-rises downtown Austin, and we would like you to have valet trash services. And I'm looking at the phone, like, how the hell this guy get my number?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, when can you come down to meet with me? Can you come at 1 today? I said, let me check my calendar. I ain't had nothing planned. I put the call on
like
mute.
you was already successful,
man,
huh?
Man, I put the call on mute. I thank God. I said, God, let this guy be real. I said, look, I can't do 1, but I can do 1:30. And he was like, okay, 1:30 is good. I said, but send me an email because I wanted to see his title.
Yeah.
Send me an email that way, with the address because I'm driving right now and I can just pull it up. He sends me an email. Boom. I'm like, oh, wow. So I drive down and meet with him and his staff, and they sign the contract on the spot. And that right there was the trajectory of like me on my way. And that was the one reference.
2 buildings, 2 mid-rise buildings?
2 mid-rise, but they were small. So I asked him later, I said, why did you go with somebody else? And this is why I tell people, he told me people didn't want to service his building because he was too small. He had like 20 units, 30 units, 50 units combined. I didn't care.
Right. You were hungry.
I was hungry.
Right.
I needed a reference because back in the day, you had to have a reference. Now, references don't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk a good game. You can do whatever. References don't even matter no more.
Mm-hmm.
So everywhere that I was going, and I already look young. So imagine me 22.
Right.
Trying to get business.
You look like you
I
about 12, 13 years
12,
old.
13. I didn't know nothing, man. So people was prejudging me based off of the inexperience that I had at the time, instead of looking at the potential and the ambition that I was displaying,
Right.
that I was willing to try and willing to work this out and make it work. So people didn't want to service a building.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it. And then by me having that one reference, I got my biggest break January of 2017, and my unemployment was running out the week after.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what's the timeline of you started knocking doors? You got, 20 apartments that are spread out to the day that Louis Divino calls you, to the day that your unemployment is about to run out. What's the timeline in that?
It was a year and a half of door knocking, frustration, trying to figure everything out before I got my first contract. And when I got my first contract, it was a small one. It wasn't a big one.
Right.
And then from there, because I was in August, so September, October, November, December, January, and then 5 months later, then that's when I got my biggest break. And that's when I told myself I'd never work again.
No, that's good. That's
Never
good.
work again.
So let me ask you this: as you're talking and I'm listening to this, one, what kept you going?
You know what? Mark Cuban says you only have to be right one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, and E.T. said, if you, pain is temporary, but if you quit, it's permanent.
Mm.
And I remember hearing those words, and I'm just like, you already in pain, get a reward from it.
Right.
I'm already frustrated. I'm already in pain. I'm already going through the motion. I'm already ready to quit. But what if this thing happens?
Yeah.
What's going on, Genesis Podcast family? Thank you so much for tapping into this amazing conversation featuring David Symes, the Trashpreneur. I want to pause for just a moment and shout out today's episode sponsor, none other than the Genesis Summit. Get ready for Genesis Summit 3.0, Sons First, Builders Second, on March 5th and 6th, 2027 at the Cascade Conference Center in the Colony, Texas. Save the date because you do not want to miss this. Also, click the link in the show notes. Take advantage of this dope bundle from our guy, podcast host, and author, CY. Lead you and discipline to finish. If you want deeper clarity, stronger focus, solid discipline, and consistent momentum, you need this bundle. Click the link and order today. Take a look at this recap from Genesis Summit 2.0 before we get back to the conversation.
Good people, what's happening? Y'all having a good time tonight? Yeah. All right, do me a favor real quick. Put those cell phones in the air. Yeah, and let me see you go. Bounce, 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 bounce. Yeah, bounce. All right. Yeah. Every head bowed, then I close. Your power's parallel about the way your prayer life goes. They say we rise by lifting others, brother. Yes, I know. They say we rise by lifting others up. What? I never mind all the hatred that come from the naysayers. They the ones who probably in need of the most prayers. I mean, before I was a prayer, I was a prayer. That's the case for most others indeed. So intercede greater is he that is in me, and that's the way it should be. If they ain't got God in them, don't compare them to me. Apparently, they don't discern what is apparent to me. Oblivious to what obviously is glaring to see. You see, I loved and I've lost it all. Nothing can encapsulate the love I have for y'all. I'm thankful for all of my people who pray. Every head bowed, then I close. Your power's parallel about the way your prayer life goes. They say we rise by lifting others, brother. Yes, I know. They say we rise by lifting others up. What? It's time to pray. It's time to pray. We gotta pray. Gotta pray. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. They said we rise by lifting.
I don't got no college degree.
Uh-huh.
I'm not school preppy savvy.
Yeah.
You know, but I know that I wanted to be successful, and I felt like this was the thing that was going to catapult me to the top of where I wanted to go, and I just saw the vision, and I was just eat, sleep, shit, trash. You know, like literally, I would just think about this every day. I was so obsessed with trash that when me and my ex-wife, where we had let's say we had like a dinner date, or we had friends that we was gonna meet, and if I'm driving past an apartment, I'm pulling over, and it could be 4 apartments on the way to where we're going. I was that obsessed because I knew that if I can just get a yes, I was gonna be all right.
Yeah. All it takes is that one yes.
All it takes is that one yes, man. And I was just like obsessed with just not giving up, because it's like I can go get another job.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be able to start another business,
Right.
or have the time to do this again.
Yeah.
So this has to work.
Mhm.
So it was no failure or no denying me whatsoever.
Yeah, that made, as you were talking and you started talking about E.T., I just saw him this past weekend at the podcast summit, and he talks about the thing that blew him up is you have to want to succeed as bad as you want to be able to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really true. So I count that as a testimony to like your internal fortitude and your stick-to-itiveness to be able to say, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep driving until I get that one yes. And that, I say that all the time. Like, a lot of us are only one yes away from that big opportunity.
Absolutely.
And your obsession with trash, which most people would say is strange, you know what I'm saying?
You stupid. Why would you do that? You know?
So, but what made you say, okay, I see the need for it. I see, because, quite as kept, you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who would say, like, man, I'm going to become a multimillionaire in people's trash?
Yeah.
Like, what made you see that? Like, where did you get that vision? Where did you say, you know what, this is my avenue to become the person that I want to be?
Man, again, I knew that going to school wasn't going to be for me. And I'm like, okay, well, let me try to pick up a trade. And picking up trash can't be that hard.
Yeah.
But I had to learn politics. I had to learn how to sell. I had to learn how to communicate. I had to learn how to talk trash and really dive into this space and to really understand, what am I selling? What's the service? What's the product? But to answer your question, it was just a thing that, how you can find what you're good at is the things that you do effortlessly. And I wasn't getting paid for it for a year and a half.
Right.
And I still kept going. Other people might would have quit, like, you know what, this ain't working, man. This is stupid. Like, all right, whatever. But I didn't think, I knew I was on to something, and it wasn't as big as it is now, the Valley Trash Space. It wasn't as big back then. So I knew that I was on to something, and I seen it working for someone else. And I'm like, if it's working for them, it's going to work for me.
Wow.
And so, and I think I never got discouraged. I never thought about, stop doing it when I was in it. And I tell people all the time, you have to be committed. I was committed. I was going to pick up trash or die trying. I was going to turn trash into
pick
cash.
up trash or die trying.
I was going to pick up trash or die trying, baby. Like, trash was like, when God gives me a vision in my mind, I have to hold it in my hand.
Yeah.
And I promise you, everything in my life that I have now, I saw it years ago.
Wow.
Years ago.
That's powerful.
Years ago. Like, I was looking at an old picture. I got a 72 Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the picture when we get done with this. I was me and Mike, we were living in Austin, and I took a picture by an old school car. And when I went for my 28th birthday, I wanted to go buy an old school car, so I went to Sherman and I bought an old school car. I wanted to go buy a Ford Torino. I wanted to go buy that one, but when I got in, it was just big and long. The guy was like, "Hey, we have a 72 Monte Carlo right here. Nice." It was above my budget. I said, "Man, this thing is nice." Man, don't you know that picture that I took in front of that old school car in Austin was the same car that I bought.
Man,
I swear to God.
Wow.
I swear to you. And I never knew what the car was. And I looked at that picture. I said, "Oh, this the same car I bought."
Wow. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That goes to that goes to the power of vision and having a vision.
Yes.
Believing in that vision and not letting go of the vision. And I think the thing that I like that you said the most is that word is I was obsessed with trash.
Yeah.
I have this saying that's either are you interested,
Are you committed?
are you committed, or are you obsessed?
Yeah.
See, there's 3 levels.
Yeah.
When you get to that obsessed level, I'm obsessed with being the person I see in my vision. Not just interested, because when you're interested, it's like being interested in a chick that you meet, like you're trying to date.
Yeah.
And then you find out some things that you might not like about it, and you be like, I'm going, or, I'm interested in getting in shape until I see what it takes for me to get in shape. But when you're committed is the next step in the progression, but still there's a reason that you may want to quit.
Yeah.
And if you are not focused like you need to be, that commitment will go to interested to nothing.
Yeah.
But when you're obsessed, it's like, I gotta have it. I gotta be it. I gotta become it.
Yeah. It's like if you shooting craps, your point is 6. I have to roll a 6. But what if you roll a 7? No, I have to roll a 6. Like,
right.
No 7s allowed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I learned something new by you just saying that, because I was always telling people, are you interested or are you committed? Because I only want to deal with people who are committed to doing it. But now it's the obsession part. I like that. You're right. That's the last thing, because you got to be a little cuckoo,
right,
to really live out a lifestyle that you want to.
Yeah.
You got to really go off the grid and be obsessed.
Yeah.
Even when people are looking at you. I remember, family members was just like, "What the hell you gonna do picking up trash?" I
couldn't see it.
They couldn't see it. My mom tried to tell me work a job for 30 years. I'm like, "Mom, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." And my uncle, You know, I love my uncle to this day, man. He used to always be like, how the hell you gonna do all of this? Because then I started to expand. I went from Austin to Dallas, and Dallas to Houston to San Antonio, Texas to Seattle, Washington to Denver, Colorado to Alabama, Atlanta, North Carolina, Colorado. Yeah. And so my uncle, I would shock him every time. How the hell you doing this? Because, you know, in my family, no one ever amassed this type of wealth or this type of success, you know. And again, I was the kid that wasn't supposed to be here.
Right. You were the kid that was supposed to either be dead in jail or
Exactly.
nothing, right?
Or nothing, basically.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And so my uncle, I love him to this day, man. And he always tell me how proud he is of me and how he can't believe it, you know.
Right. You know what's interesting about that as you talk about that is I think I heard Jay-Z talking about, you know, when he let his uncle listen to his CD, and how his uncle was like,
He thought about, see if he was beating head.
Yeah.
Might as well said, beat the kid. He's on the list.
Exactly. But it's interesting because people, they don't see it for you because they can't see it for themselves.
Yep.
And so that lends to the point of, like, your environment and your circle and sharing your dreams. Like, you should only share your dreams with people that look like where you want to go or people that have the same mindset with you. Because typically the people that you start with, they don't want to see you become the version of yourself that you see in your mind. They want you to stay at this same level because you're not exposing my insufficiencies and my inability to dream bigger than what I see.
Absolutely.
And it's oftentimes I tell people, if you're not careful, your circle actually becomes a noose, and it will strangle every dream, every goal, every aspiration out of you if you continue to stay in that environment.
Yep. I 1000% agree with that, bro.
Yeah.
1000% agree with that because, you know, as you're elevating and these people are still right here, now there's a gap.
Yeah.
We don't even have the same conversation. I don't even talk the same. I don't even walk the same. I don't even dress the same.
Oh, now you brand new. You acting funny.
You acting funny and things like that. It's like, no, I just been exposed. I have experience. I've seen what I want my future to look like.
Right.
I've driven by $1 million houses and said, I want this for myself and for my family. I've seen people with nice cars. I don't envy them. I don't get jealous. I don't hate them for them having the things that they have. You know, some people work hard. Some people get an inheritance where they get things from their mother or father or whatever the case may be. But I never hated on anyone for having the things that I wanted without me putting the work and the sweat equity on what it would take for me to have those things too.
Yeah.
But some people, you know, I have friends and we're just not the same no more. We're not 16, 15, 20, 21 no more. You know, I'm on a different level right now. And, you know, I love when Magic Johnson said, when I was here, I can deal with you. Now the deal's got to be here.
Right.
You know, small deals don't excite me anymore because the same amount of time that it takes to make 100,000 is the same amount of time to make $1 million. So I'm just trying to figure out where to put my energy, my investments, everything into because the deal's got to make sense for me.
No, that's dope. I like that. And you talk about that the levels. I love that analogy of, you know, it takes the same amount of energy to make $1 million that it takes to make $1,000 that it takes to make $100,000.
Yeah.
So you might as well dream big.
Yeah.
What does the success look like you now versus when you first got in the game? So because you've been able to get the cars, you've been able to travel, you got, you know, the rollie, you got all the things, the trappings that people, you know, say they want when they get in the game. But what does it look like now? What is success for you?
Impact, significance, you know, because it's levels to success. You start off as a hustler, then you start off as an entrepreneur, and then you grow into a businessman, and then you grow into the investor, where your money is just working for you. You're putting your money into the right spots, 5 to 7 years. You hit big and things like that too. So, and then you hit the philanthropy, which is the last step. I'm not there yet, but I don't have to be there to start now.
Yeah.
So for me, is being more impactful and doing things to help other people more than just helping myself, because I got here, you know, and got successful by myself. But now it's like anything I do now, I don't want to eat alone.
Yeah.
But I got to have the right people on the team.
Exactly.
Because just because I'm saying that, people may be like, oh, I'm calling you.
Yeah,
Let me help you out. Let me
yeah.
something. Like, no. You got to have some type of value. You got to bring something to the table, because I got $100 million ideas, $1 billion plans, $1 billion ideas. But it's going to require me a team that can trust into me and that can sacrifice a little bit. Because people want to make money off the rip. I'm more into chasing relationships.
Yeah, you
now.
want the long term.
I want the long-term play. Like, short-term gain is not attracted to me anymore. The long-term play is. So right now, I'm just trying to find ways to be more impactful. And that's when I had created the University of Trash and consider myself the Trashpreneur, because there's a lot of people who didn't make it in this space because they didn't have the time, they wasn't committed or obsessed, and they couldn't find a way to win.
Right.
So when I became the rising star Black male in this space, young too, I made Trash look good. I found out that one of the biggest companies is using my videos to train their sales reps.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, someone told me that it was in-house. I'm like, oh, wow. So people are really watching me.
Yeah.
You know, and I was somewhere the other day. Someone was like, oh, you David the Trashpreneur. Like, so people may be watching me. They may not be liking, commenting, subscribing, or buying my course or things like that. But just to know that I'm making a difference. And it ain't just trash. Trash is just a product that I perhaps to master. But if you really pay attention to what I do, I'm really encouraging and motivating and inspiring people just to start. You know, some people, they want to be great before they start instead of starting to become great.
Yeah.
And you got to jump, like Steve Harvey said, you got to go at the end of that cliff and you just got to jump.
Right.
You just got to jump.
That parachute is going to be there when you need it, or God will build the bridge as you jump for something for you to have a soft landing.
Dude.
So I like that. I heard you talk about philanthropy. I heard you talk about impact. So let's go back to David Symes, the young man at his lowest point. And somebody who may be watching this podcast says, well, dang, see why I see myself in David, but I can't do what David did. He's different. I'm just not able to do it. So what would you tell that young man who is watching right now, or watching the clip of this and saying, well, that's him. I'm not, I just can't do that.
Man, I would tell anybody, man, you can do anything. You can become what you see and what you vision into yourself. I'm not 6'6". I'm not LeBron James height. I'm not athletic. I really turn trash into cash. Anybody can do that.
Right.
Maybe trash is not your thing. Maybe baking cookies.
Yeah.
Ice cream, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it because it's already here.
Yep.
How many cookie shops there is? How many ice cream shops there is?
Yep.
But I tell people all the time, when people was telling me, why are you creating this? Because you're going to create so much competition. I said, listen, what does Cane's, Chick-fil-A, KFC, Church's Chicken, Popeyes, what do they all have in common?
They sell chicken.
But do they all taste different? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's unique about David is unique about David.
Right.
What's unique about CY is unique about CY.
Right.
People may not want David. They may want CY.
Right.
People may not want CY. They may want David.
Yeah.
It just depends on the people.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever it is that you want to do. I come from the gutter. I come from a crackhead mom. I come from not knowing my biological father. I come from pedal to post, the gutter, the ghetto, black sheep of the family, poor, fighting, growing up fighting. You can change your life and you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but you cannot make excuses for yourself.
I love that. No excuses.
No
you
excuses.
Heard it. And I'm telling you, this man is not capping on his success. I've seen him pull up in the Lambo truck. Just so you can understand. I've seen him pull up in the blue AMG. I've seen this brother is living what he's talking about. So back to the Trashpreneur, man, and now that we've kind of painted a picture for somebody looking at this. And that's the beautiful thing that I love that you said, man, is if you go in the grocery store and you go down the bread aisle, it's 50 brands of bread. You go get the chicken nuggets, it's 10, 15 brands in the freezer. Like, there's 8 billion people in this world. You don't think that you can carve out your own lane and your own niche where people will gravitate towards you?
Man.
But they'll never find you if you never show up. First is right, showing up for yourself, right? Show up for yourself.
For real.
And then when you show up for yourself, you show up for others. And I like how you said, like, you want to create value for others by not gatekeeping. So you already have a mentality of abundance versus like, I got to hold this close to my chest because I don't want nobody else to get it.
Yeah, because what is the purpose of life? It's giving.
Yep.
God has blessed me. I'm only 34 years of age. God has blessed me with a tremendous life, dude. Like, I swear to y'all, if I was to die right now, man, I can say, people can say he lived.
Right.
He blessed me with 2 wonderful boys.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a brother growing up. God gave me all boys.
Right.
You know, I grew up poor. God made me very successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything that I ever wanted to have, I have achieved it.
Mm.
Literally. There's things that I want to continue to do
Right.
that I will try to do, and I will do if God allows me to be here to do it. But you have to have the right focus on what you're trying to accomplish. Because if you don't have the right focus and if you don't have the discipline to do it, it's just all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
And then we're all, society is caught up with the smoke and mirrors, right? I want to look like I'm doing something. I want to look good to the public, but I really don't want to do the work.
Man, you'll be surprised how many Instagram influencers that I've met with and I sat down and talked to, and I'm just like, this person don't know business. And it's always like that, though, right? Because the people who are influencers on social media are not good in business.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are great in business may not be as good as an influencer on social media. I'd rather be good in business in real life.
Right.
And when you see me, everything matches up.
Yeah.
Versus when I'm an influencer, I'm on TikTok, million views, and then I ain't got $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't care about all of that. Like,
right.
I'm a real businessman, so I'm in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will sell you on something that they have not even done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm like, that's why I'm different, because I can tell you everything about Ballet Trash, the ins and outs, how to get the contract, who to talk to, what meeting's going to be a waste of your time, where to go, how to contact the owners, how to contact brokers, how to build a relationship, what's the best time to go out doing. I know, because I did it for 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So you immerse yourself in it, and what they said, it takes 10,000 hours to become a master.
Yeah.
So basically, if you work an hour a day for 10 years, you definitely have mastered that thing to the T. Tell me this, man. You know, because even in like the course of my life, I've made some very, very, very bad decisions, right? There are some things that I can look back on my life and say, CY, what was you thinking? You should have did that differently, but it was part of the plan for me to learn.
Yeah.
Right. What not to do, and it's also a part of me, of my story, so that I can be able to relate to other people that can find and see themselves in me. What would you say if you're comfortable sharing like one of your biggest regrets or one of your biggest mistakes in life, and that has shaped you to become the man and ultimately the businessman that you are today?
One of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my life, it's kind of controversial, because I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's experience and lessons.
Yeah.
And the failure or the mistake that I could have made.
Yeah.
I would probably say marriage.
Oh, wow.
I would probably, not in a bad way,
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever, but really understanding what marriage really is,
Mm-hmm.
and not just doing it because it's
Yeah.
the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's what everybody does.
It's what everyone does,
Mhm.
you know, whatever. And just really understanding what comes with that title,
Mhm.
that responsibility. I was 25 when I got married.
Right.
You know, being young and naive and
Yeah.
kind of like didn't predict the future. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's no man that I was around that could have shaped me for the things that I've experienced
Uh-huh.
in that. You know what I'm saying? And so I thank God for the experience, even in the middle of the pain, because it's now I'm more valuable.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, the more pain you go through,
Right.
dude, you become more valuable.
Right.
You have the experience, but then again, you got to have the discipline
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Experience teaches you what to do. Discipline allows you to do it.
Uh-huh.
And so, not saying my marriage is a bad thing, but it's just I've learned so much about women.
Yeah.
I learned so much about myself.
Yeah.
And I learned so much about how to protect myself and protect my kids,
Right.
future kids, and things like that moving forward.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of like I really don't, because I would have never got this. So imagine if you just always won.
Right. No. You got to take some.
You
L's,
gotta
though.
take some L's. You gotta take some L's. So learning though.
Yeah.
It ain't L's, losses. It's learning.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I say, there are no failures. There are only lessons.
It's only lessons
Yeah.
and learning. So again, it's not saying marriage is bad. I respect marriage. Whatever. But it's just certain men that have a certain caliber to themselves, the different mindset that's valuable. Those men has to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think honestly,
Has to be
because I
careful.
think about you, we got a lot of similarities. So the first time I got married at 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, talking about like the traumas and the things that I experienced in life, not knowing my biological father, looking for different things to kind of fill that void.
Yep.
And, you feel like, okay, this is the right thing to do. And ultimately you're not ready
Yeah.
to make that commitment because like you really don't know what you know, right? You really haven't seen a blueprint or a model, right? And I talk about my stepdad, who I call my dad all the time. He was, he was present. He was a great role model, didn't talk a lot, but I learned, just certain things from him. But, the information that's out there for us now to really truly learn, and just like finding communities and places where we can get the value to truly understand who we are, deal with all the stuff on the back end that may impact me in a relationship moving forward. I think that's very valuable. So I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. So as anybody watching you say, oh, he said marriage is bad. I don't think he's saying that.
No. It's just, you got to vet your person out, pay attention to red flags, understand the dynamic of the other person's family, and don't let the lust get you caught up into certain things and make you make a decision. Because sometimes women will put pressure on you. Oh, if you want to have a kid with me, you got to marry me. Like, whatever the case may be. And then some men will fall for it or things like that too. So, and it's just tricky now.
Yeah.
Especially when you go through, and my divorce wasn't bad. I'm not saying my divorce was bad, but when you got kids involved, and the other person is, hiding kids and things like that, that's when it becomes like,
No, that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother episode.
Whole nother episode.
I might have to bring you back for episode number 2 on that, man.
We'll cut that part. But
no, you good. No, it's good. I appreciate the transparency and just being open and honest, because again, I think people see the success, but they don't see the story behind the success.
Yes. Scars.
Yeah.
Scars. It's one thing too, when I meet with successful people, and people probably sold their companies for hundreds of millions or whatever the case may be, very successful, you really realize no one is exempt. No one is exempt.
Nope.
The person that you probably are idolizing on social media right now is probably going through the most toughest, roughest shit in their life right now, but you would never know.
Right.
You would never know. People might look at me and look up to me and see me, but you would never know unless I'm close to you.
Right.
Unless we talk, unless you know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, but no one is exempt from going through some type of pain. So just be careful who you idolize, because, you might think someone else is in a better situation than you, but you don't know what they're going through.
Right. It's always a story that you are not privy to. I say this all the time. Most of the people are going to show you their wins. They're never going to show you their losses or their setbacks, and it's a true testament to a person like yourself who can say, I've had some setbacks. I've had some issues. I've had some things I've had to overcome to become this man. So I want to, give you kudos for that, brother. Yeah. I want to tell you, man, that I see what you're doing. I value the way that you carry yourself, the impact that you are giving the culture, and we are here to definitely support you and rock with you along the way. So as we get ready to land the plane, man, one thing I want to kind of dive into is the University of Trash.
Okay.
What that's about.
Yeah.
And talk about, where you're at in the trash business, if you're still in that business. I mean, I know a little bit, but share with the audience and kind of share the next steps for David Symes, the Trashpreneur.
Yeah. You asked me a question whenever we first started. How did I come up with the Trashpreneur brand? I always like to diversify myself. I always like to be different and stand out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not an employee. I'm a trashpreneur. Trash is my life. So I trademarked the name Trashpreneur, and I just go by David the Trashpreneur. And so that has been a very, very alarming success in creating that buzz about me and who I am and how I got to my success. University of Trash, I created this a couple years ago, but I didn't have the time to fulfill it, the vision that I have for it. And I wanted to help people that tried to get into this space, but did not know and didn't have the resources to do it. And each one teach one.
Right.
And so while people were looking up to me, I've always been the person that would always try to bring people up with me. I don't like for people to come up off me.
Right.
You could come up with me.
Right.
It's a big difference.
Yes, sir.
And so I was like, you know what? Once I get to a certain point and I have the time and the success and the leverage, I would do my best to try to help as many people as possible to get into the space. Yes, you have to pay for it, but you're paying for 10 years plus of knowledge and wisdom and experience that can shape and form you for you to take the elevator while I took the stairs.
Yeah.
And so it's a cool thing to be a part of. Right now, we're getting together to try to do our third seminar in August here in Dallas. And then about fourth quarter, we're going to try to do one in Atlanta.
Nice.
Out there too as well. And just creating that awareness and that buzz to try to tell people, look, you see all these apartments around you that's being built. Why not go out and start your own business and create it? Use this as leverage, even if this is something that you do not want to do, but this can be a start to open up other doors for you to do the thing that you really want to do later, so, but again, people have to be committed and obsessed to wanting to change their lives and versus complaining about where they are. So, the University of Trash I think this is the most impactful thing that I'm doing currently right now, is teaching and showing people what I've done so that way they can be successful in their own way. They may only want to make 10 grand a month. They may want to go full throttle and go all, into the deep waters and make it a global brand like how I did it. But whatever it is that you want to do, whether you want to play small, play medium, or play big, you can do it by getting involved into this program.
And so what they'll be able to kind of reach out to, how do they get affiliated with the University of Trash?
They go to universityoftrash.com. They can book a call, and one of our trash coaches or myself would take it, see where they are at, ask them a couple questions to vet them out, to get them qualified. And then after that, if they want to pay, if they got the commitment to pay, then we'll send them the link, and then they can get started and join our Discord where we talk and host little meetings once a month, and we can do like Q&A sessions.
Okay, so we'll put that in the show notes that you University of Trash with David Symes. Here you had a man and that has actually taken your business and you sold it and exited, right?
Oh yeah. So I just sold it in January of this year, and man, that was like, it was like tears of joy. Like, wow, like, like the kid from Dayton, Ohio, like really, really did it. Like really, really did it, man. So.
And was that the plan all along, is to build a business and sell it?
Actually, no. I was on Grant Cardone time. Cash flow, never sell, income, never sell. And so I started to think. And I'm like, there's a difference between making millions and having millions.
Right.
And I was like, I wanted to start to get into other things and to start investing my money and things like that. And I was like, you know what? Let me just see how much will somebody give me for my business. And I would just go out, call some of the bigger guys. They would lowball me.
What do you mean by bigger guys? So for somebody that may not know what.
So a bigger guy's like a bigger competitor of what I'm doing. They were buying and acquiring smaller companies, and they was just rolling them up.
Yeah.
And so, and they were all lowball me. And so I was like, okay. And I built it. And then next, they start knocking on my door. And I was like, okay. I sent them all my numbers, sent them all of these, all the things that they was looking for. And they still came back lowballing. And then there's one particular client, private equity, who said, hey, we just bought a company and give us until like the fourth quarter to, see if we want to buy you out if you haven't sold yet. So Mark Cuban says, you have to identify your sucker. If you don't know who the sucker is in the room, then it's you. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I knew out of all the people that was trying to buy me out, that I was soliciting my company to, they was lowballing, but I knew I found my sucker. Not calling them a sucker.
No, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So respectfully. But and they came with the most. And I was like, deal.
How long did that process take from the time that they said they wanted to buy you to?
And this is what I tell people who comes and join University of Trash. Knowing what I know now, I tell every student, set your business up. And this is for anybody. Set your business up to sell. No matter what it is that you're doing, set it up to sell, because when you're ready to push that button, you don't have to be scrambling and trying to come up with all of the documents, and you got to sit back and wait another year to clear everything up and pay this stuff off. And, then it cuts into your EBITDA and all of these things that happens on the back end. So I tell people, set your business in the beginning to sell in the end. If you do it like this, you will always be ready to sell at any given point, and you don't have to be scrambling and trying to figure things out. So, but no, I didn't have that in mind. I had just getting, because I was cash flow heavy every month. Like all the stuff I got now, I could have, well, I had, the watches and clothes and trips, just the cars. But I could have been bought that like 5-6 years ago. But that wasn't my mindset at the time. So I was like, let me get my cash, and then I can go have fun, throw my party and things like that too. So, but no.
So you live like nobody else in the beginning, so in the end you can live like nobody else. That's what Dave Ramsey says all the time, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You kind of withheld the material pleasures to a certain extent until you got to a certain level, and then you was like, okay, I'm gonna pull the trigger now.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a good topic right here. Because a lot of times people are not willing to sacrifice their 20s. I started my company at 22, 23.
Wow.
And I didn't care about partying. I didn't care about going to concerts. And I don't care about that stuff. Now, I do it now because I can do whatever I want to do now. But I didn't care about the things that the people was trying to get me to care about. Because I was focused on the mission.
Yeah.
I was focused on, I see you struggling. You 40-something years old. You 30-something years old. Y'all working a job that y'all hate. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be 60 and working and got to come into work and travel and do all these things. So other people' life experiences kept me going and motivated too. I may not never said anything.
Right, but you were paying attention.
I was paying attention. I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be like that. No, damn. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to do that. So for me, paying attention to other people's experiences in their life also motivated me to always be 10 steps thinking Like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that because I've seen this happen to him or her. Well, I got to invest my money because I know if I don't invest it, I'm going to be buying bull stuff that don't matter.
Right.
And you're going to spend the money anyways, and you're going to look up, and the worst feeling is to say, where did that money go?
Yep. You'd be like, man, what happened to that watch? What happened to, you know what I'm saying? You got rid of the car, you wrecked it, or it's old, and you don't enjoy it no more.
You don't enjoy it no more. And so, you know, and when I bought my cars, you know, people was like, oh, man, why you buying all these cars and things like that? But I have multiple different businesses.
Yeah.
And the Lamborghini didn't come from the sale of my company. It came from another business that I created that I did. And I made a lot of money in 3 months.
Wow.
And I bought it cash. And so with me selling, people got to understand this. Everything that you buy is marketable.
Mm-hmm.
When I drive and these cars or wear watches or go to certain trips, vacations, whatever, I stay at the best hotels, and whatever. Like I want the best of the best, because you never know who you might meet.
Yeah. It's been in that proximity.
In the proximity.
Yeah.
And so when you're driving, a person driving a Honda, no offense, person driving a Honda, you pull up to a restaurant or whatever, valet, cool. You pull up in a Lamborghini, all eyes on you. Now the spotlight is on what you do. Yeah. And I always tell people, I want to look like, what do I do?
Right.
I want you to wonder, what does he does?
Yeah, exactly. That's good, man. That's good. And being exposed and being in those places actually exposes you to the level of people that you want to interact with.
Exactly.
Because now you're in the space. And I think that's a big thing. Is I always say this, in order to become the thing you want to be, you got to be the thing that you want to become before you be the thing that you want to be.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. And then too, it takes dough to make bread.
Yeah.
You know, people want to make the bread, but they ain't got no dough.
Come on, man.
So it takes dough to make bread. So I spend the dough on certain things to make more bread.
Right.
Because I know what catches people's eyes. I know what catches your attention. I know how to move and what to do to make you want to do business with me. It's like attracting bees to more honey.
Yeah. And scared, what they say, scared money don't make no money.
Yeah. You got to spend it, man. Enjoy. One thing too, I know a lot of people who make a lot more money than me.
Mm-hmm.
Very more successful than I do, but they don't live.
Right.
I said, that ain't going to be me.
Right.
I'm not about to be making this type of money, and I'm only going to Mexico and Florida.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to Brazil. I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Thailand. Right. I'm going to Canada. Right. That's the most expensive thing that can make you more richer is by traveling.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just the type of money that you're making, would you say you're in the 7-8 figure bracket yearly, or like if you're comfortable, you don't have to give it.
Yeah,
it's the range of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it. You got a young man from Dayton, Ohio, who grew up in the projects. That was a black sheep of the family. The mother was addicted to drugs. Didn't know his biological father. So now is in the 7-8 figure range of income on a yearly basis. So honestly, people, there are no excuses for you not to go out there and get it. And this is one thing we want to talk about within the Genesis podcast, right? Is creating that inner clarity of who you want to become, so you can actually be coming on the back end by getting that momentum. Because if you don't deal with the chaos and understand where you want to go, if you don't plan, you don't come up with a plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
So I just want y'all to look at this brother, see he's 34 years old and what he's doing. Again, it's not about the material things. It's about the person that he had to become to get to the place that he's at. So we're getting ready to shut this thing down, man. But I always close with this thing I call rapid fire. Okay. There are 3 questions.
Okay.
You answer them, with the first thing that comes to your mind. And I may ask you to elaborate on it if it's something that really resonates with me. So the first question is, one thing that you won't compromise.
Peace. My peace.
Peace. Okay. All right. One belief that changed your life.
Everything is happening for me and not to me.
Okay, park there for just a minute. It's happening to you, not for you.
Everything's happening for me, not to me.
Exactly. So, yeah, I may have missaid it, but how did you come up with that mindset? Because when life starts to life,
mm-hmm.
people start to, look at what's happening to them and feeling like, oh, woe is me? Like, how did you say, this is teaching me something, this is showing me something that is going to ultimately serve my good?
Man, prime example is my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
On the outside looking in, it's like, man, I had a rough, bad childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But did everything happen to me? Or did everything happen for me?
Wow. Perspective, bro.
Perspective. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when people are going through things, and it's hard to kind of say, wow, it's just happening for me, God, like, because you don't see what's going to happen a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. But if you shift your mindset and really understand that quote, everything is happening for me, nothing is happening to me. It brings out a different beast in you. Like, okay, cool. You're just learning.
Yeah, it's for
my
greater good.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's on the other side of this if you don't go through this. So when you go through that, you just always remember everything is happening for me. And Tony Robbins has said that when I had went to his seminar, and I was like, wow, I'll never forget that as long as I'm alive. Everything is happening for me. Nothing is happening to me.
No, that's good. That's good. And the last and final question, one decision that saved or changed the trajectory of your life.
One decision to stick to trash.
Wow.
Sticking to trash when everybody was like, I'm stupid for doing this, I'm not going to be successful. I asked multiple people to come on board to help me grow the company. And me sticking to that changed my life. And I would probably say me having kids too changed my life as well, because I love being a father. That's one thing I want to talk about too, is being a father is the most important thing to me.
Right.
It's the most important title, being the CEO of your last name. And I think that's at the end of the day, that's what I would want to be known for. And I think that is the most successful accomplishment that any person can have, is the relationship with their children. Because you know how many people are successful, but the kids hate them, or the kids don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
And holidays are here, and whatever the case may be. And there are some unfortunate situation that does happen, whatever, that you have to work out through the kinks and stuff like that. But man, whenever that time comes and my kids get older, I want to hang with my dudes.
For sure.
Because all it is going straight to them.
Now you're building it for them.
They're building it for them. Everything, like I'm the GPS to their life.
Yeah.
I'm the roadmap. I'm the map quest. I'm all of that for them, so that way they can know how to navigate life without me in it.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So peace. Everything is happening
for me,
for you, not to you. And sticking to trash and becoming a father. And there you have it. You have David Symes, the Trashpreneur. Look, David's story isn't just about trash. It's about a brother who decided that I'm not going to let the way that I start be the way that I finish. No one gets to write my ending except for me. He's taking everything that he has with that dash and making something shake, making something happen. And he's setting the blueprint and the course of navigation for his children and anybody within his legacy, that they'll be able to see that this man did it. He did it the right way, and he didn't let his beginnings impact his endings. So we thank you for being a part of today's episode. Tell the people how they can follow you, if you have anything coming up next, and again, where they can find it. What's the link to sign up for the University of Trash?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on all social media platforms. I am David the Trashpreneur, just like entrepreneur, just trash in front of entrepreneur. David Symes, and then University of Trash on all platforms, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. And if you want to learn more about the trash business, please go online to universityoftrash.com, book your call with me. You'll talk to one of our trash coaches or myself, and we can go from there.
Man, this is just a testament, Genesis family, to one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's real. Like, this man is taking trash and turning it into a gold mine. This is your boy CY. You know, you can always find me on at IAM8020Nation on Instagram. The Genesis Podcast on YouTube is at Mindset UNIV, at Mindset UNIV, Mindset University. You see Mindset University right there. That's our men's group. That's a place where, again, everything that we doing is to help every brother deal with their internal chaos, to find that inner clarity so they can sustain external momentum in life, in leadership, in their community, in their family, right? It's one thing to have momentum, but it's another thing to sustain that momentum. And this is what the Genesis Podcast is about. This has been episode 35 with your boy David Symes. I'm CY. This has been the Genesis Podcast. Shout out to my boy Joe at Action Studio, all the way back from Switzerland and Paris, out there in the Swiss Alps. We appreciate you, man. Again, this is the Genesis Podcast. Tune in for upcoming events and rock with your boy. Rock with your boy. Rock with your boy. Because look, we going to change the world. We going to change the people that have been assigned to my voice and to the mission of the Genesis Podcast and Mindset U. We finna change God is going to use this to change your life forever, man. So sign up, rock with your boy. We appreciate you. And until next time, we out. Peace.
Peace.